Hello everyone. So now we are going to understand what is generics in Java. Why there is need of generics in Java. So let's try to understand first what is type safety. Okay. So in Java we have to define the type of the variable well in advance. Okay. And we have learnt about this in our data types. Like we have to define a data type, then variable name, and then assign it to a value. So suppose I want to use an integer. I know that I'm going to use the integer, then int data, and then you assign a value to it. So this is a very common practice in Java. That means you have to tell that this particular variable is integer well in advance. Okay. So now this was not true for certain type of data types like list. So in Java 1.4, okay, and before that, so list were generic types. That means it was accepting everything. So let's take that particular object. So list, and I'm going to use java.util.list, and I'm just deleting this particular thing, okay, which is brackets, and inside that I deleted that, okay, saying new list equals new of array list. So it's gonna be new of array list, okay, and close that. Now here again I'm deleting this. Now what we are saying is we are creating a list called new list. Now this new list accepts, so you can add an object which is probably 100, no issues with that. You have new list, then you can add hello world in that, and you can see that we are not getting any error. That means we are basically assigning an integer value and the next value as a string value into the list, and nobody's complaining. But are you okay with this? So the thing is, Java understands that a list, or if you are consolidating some objects, you need to have the type safety. That means the objects should be safe, okay, that the type of object should be safe, that if you are entering integer, it should be an integer list. If you are creating customers, then it should be a customers list, or string, then string list. But how do we do that? So we can achieve that with the help of generics. So let's try to understand how generics are implemented. The first and core reason is this, like we want to do type safety, we want to make sure of type safety. Will be that. So now when I make sure that if this particular list is of strings only, then I have to define a generic here. That means I have to define string. So if I define string, and in array list also I'll define string in these brackets, I got an error on adding 100 because 100 is not a string, 100 is an integer. So now I have to change this to a string, and then it's accepted. So this type safety is achieved with the help of generics. But how do we code that though? How do we create that? So can we create our own code which accepts generics? For that, I will just open this list interface. I'll just open that, okay, and try to see what exactly or how exactly it's representing. So you can see that this public interface list, and there is something here which is very interesting, an element within these brackets, within these angular brackets. Okay, so now what is this guy and what he is doing here? Then extends collection, even the guy is here as well. So can I create something like this? Okay, so let's create an interface or a class, okay, which accepts something like this. Can we do that? So this is basically a type which I don't know yet, okay, but if I'm defining that, then it should be used throughout the class, okay. That is, this particular class or that list class is only dedicated for the object which you are passing in. So if you are passing customer in this particular angular brackets, then that list is for customer, okay. So let me create. So I have created some class called as units, and this units, this is a plain simple class, okay, which is public class units. Now I want to make sure, so probably I don't have this methods yet, okay. I want to make sure that this particular class only works for certain types, okay. So if units are for integers, units for float, or units for kilos, whatever it is, okay. So these are units, okay, or I can make it unit, by the way. This is a good way because it will be an individual unit and you can add some content into it, okay. So I'm gonna fix that, rename that to unit, and I'm done. So how can I add a generic to it? So to add a generic, again I will follow the same pattern which list did. So what I will do, I will add these angular brackets here. Now in that angular brackets, I can write any alphabet. Okay, so it can be small a, capital A, small e, capital E, but it's a standard that we should use E or T. Okay, so T or E for stands for element. So whenever you are using any collection based classes, you will see E more, and T is for type. So type does make sense for my case, so I'll just say type. Okay, so when I specify that the units of type, okay, I'm not getting any error. That means I'll be able to create some classes with this. Cool with this? So now I can have some methods in it. Cool with that? So now let's go ahead and create some method like show or print that particular type. Cool with this? So I'll create a show method. So it will be public void show type. Okay, and in this particular method, what I'm going to do is whatever coming in, I'm just printing the type of that particular class. So sys out. Okay, and here I'm gonna say T. Now here, how interesting is that? I want to understand the type of this particular class. So I will do what? I will make sure that this T is available to me. Okay, with some class name. So let's go ahead and access that T. So I might say T dot, and am I getting anything? No, I'm not getting anything. So now I have to define a variable, maybe a class variable, and of that type T. So if you are sending a string, then that will be a type of that particular string. How do I do that? So I'll just say T, okay, which is a type basically, and I'm saying dynamic type. I can do that. Now dynamic type will be have a type safety. So this is like a data type now. Have a type safety with T. So if you pass integer, dynamic type is integer. If you pass string, dynamic type is string. And to prove my point, what I'm going to do is I'm just saying dynamic type dot get class dot get name. So what's gonna happen is it will actually print like what kind of object I'm getting it from. So now to use that or to test this particular method, I will create another class and try to create this unit class. I don't want to create anything else. What I can do is I can just use my tester class, or I can create a tag class here itself. So here I'm going to create my unit class. So let me remove this. This is not required anymore. Now I'm saying unit. Now this is Gurukul.learn, and in unit I'm going to pass string. So if this is string unit, okay, we'll just say unit equals new of units or unit, and you're done. And then if I'm just saying unit dot show type, what's gonna happen is it will actually show me what exact type I passed. So let's run this code and see the results. Oh wait, I got null pointer exception. Why? Because you have not passed anything there. Okay, so you need to actually pass some value. How do I do that though? So remember that this is equivalent to what happened. So this is equivalent to defining a string inside this. So suppose you are defining a string here and then asking for a class.getName. You are getting null here because you have never created any string. So that means I need that setters and getters. So if I have setter and getter, I'll be able to access that particular object. So can I create that? So you can create a setter and getter with T as well. So let's go ahead in source, generate getters and setters. I can define dynamic types. Okay, create that on show type and generate it. Okay, so you can see that my getter method is returning T and my setter method is also accepting T. So it's completely fine that if I have a setter method with taking a dynamic type, that's completely fine. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and here I'm saying unit dot set dynamic type. Now it's saying string because see here, because I created this dynamic type as string, I'll get this as a string type. If I convert that to an integer, it will automatically give me the integer here. So here I'm defining a type now, or defining a value here. This is a test value. Okay, and I'm defining this value. This is set type. Now I'll be able to pass it or use it, okay, as unit. So let me do that. And if I run this now, we get java.lang.string. That means we are accepting a dynamic or accepting a dynamic type with the help of generics. So what is generics? Generics is type safety on a particular object. So if you are accepting something, or if you want to bind a class or a particular type, you can do that with the help of generics. Okay, so this is a short video about generics. We created a generic class, we added getters and setters for that. We can declare a type, generic type, we can have getters and setters on generics. Okay, and we can use generics whenever we want to bind a type to a class. Okay, so that being said, we're gonna stop here. So let's continue on the next session. Thanks a lot everyone. Have a good one.